Alright, what's up guys, it's Pig Puncher. You may notice that I appear a bit more ecstatic than I usually am today, and the reason for my good mood is the outcome of this drama happening with Peter Coffin right now. Don't get me wrong, I love Peter, and I feel bad that he and his partner have had to deal with all this bullshit, but I'd be lying if I said the sweet dose of karma that was dished out by this drama didn't put a big smile on my face. Quick disclaimer. A lot of the tweets involved with this drama have been deleted or the users have been banned. I've tried to dig up as many screenshots as I can, but many have slipped through the cracks and some of the accounts involved have been banned or deleted, but I've gotten every screenshot I can, and for the parts where I have none, you'll just have to take my word for it. Now let me explain. So I've been banned from Twitter for a few weeks now, and while it feels good not to take part in that festering cesspool of a hell site, I'm often left out of the loop on what's going on in the world, and even in other leftist spaces because of this. I bring this up for two reasons. First, to explain that the last few days that this drama was happening, I had no idea what it was about. I heard about it, but I didn't know who was involved or how serious it was. Second, because one of the people that's involved in this drama is also involved in the banning of several of my Twitter accounts in the last few months. So before I get into the Peter Coffin drama itself, let's take a step back to 3 months ago when ContraPoints released her Opulence video. It was overall a good video, as usual, but she included a 6-second sound clip of a trans celebrity named Buck Angel. He's fairly well known for his bad takes on non-binary people and is regarded by most as a true scum. To be clear, Natalie didn't endorse Buck's NB-phobic beliefs, nor did she even agree with them. In fact, they weren't even expressed in the video, he just read a John Waters quote for 6 seconds. But understandably, a lot of people got a little upset that she had platformed a figure who held some pretty shitty beliefs. But their criticisms were pretty valid and they were presented reasonably. However, there was a handful of people who went further than just criticizing her for irresponsible platforming. These people, who I'll be calling woke scolds, accused ContraPoints of being NB-phobic. Some even went further and labeled her a crypto-fascist. To try to prove their point, they dug through her tweets from years ago, clipping out context, lying and purposely misinterpreting what she'd said, and formed a narrative that claims she's really a closeted anti-Semitic neo-Nazi who hates non-binary people. If you don't believe me, go look on Twitter. These people aren't too hard to find. Around that time, I spent a good amount of my time arguing with these morons and trying to at least instill the tiniest bit of sense into them. Every experience usually went the same. They would make a strong accusation and fail to substantiate it. I would ask for any proof they have to support their accusation. They would fail to provide any. I would tell them it's irresponsible to make an accusation like that without proof, and finally they would play the victim, claim you're harassing them because, and if they're part of any minority group, they'll claim you're harassing them because of that, and then they would block you and stop you from being able to respond. This was the pattern every time without fail. My fucking sprinklers turned on. This was the pattern every time without fail. Eventually I encountered one particular woke scold who made the bold claim that any BreadTuber who doesn't have their pronouns in their bio should have to return their Patreon donations, and I decided to respond by saying that many BreadTubers' Twitter accounts are business accounts and have links to social media and contact info in their bio, and they've reached the character limit, so they can't really fit pronouns in there, and I used my account as an example. And I think they responded with something along the lines of, "Shut up, put your pronouns in your bio, and stop defending that rapist, Vosh." Then they blocked me, and all my followers. I didn't think much of that interaction. I mean, it was pretty standard for these types of people, but then I had a really bad interaction with their girlfriend, who went by the name of Slightly Sluggy, or Jamie. She was kind of, how do I say this? A bitch. This was months ago, and I don't have any screenshots since my account has long been banned, but I believe she originally came into a thread accusing me of harassing her partner and calling me a transphobe. I responded by saying that I have done more for the trans community than her or her partner combined, and they have no room to talk. And then she said, "If you support trans rights, have I read any books written by trans people?" That was the point when I realized I was dealing with people who were beyond any semblance of reason. Not long after, I got banned. The tweets that were reported were the ones where I was being mean to people, calling me a transphobe, or calling my friend Vosh a rapist. To be fair, I didn't think this Jamie person or their partner had anything to do with it. I mean, I was arguing with a lot of these people over those last few days, but I went on to make another account, which lasted a month or so, and once again, Jamie popped up on my timeline, only this time mentioning me and calling me a crypto-fascist, trying to turn my audience into a bunch of Nazis. We argued. An hour later, I get banned for ban evasion. kinda suspicious. Finally, I had my girlfriend make me a third account and operate it for me for a month, and once I'm sure that it's safe from being banned, I start using it. After about a week, I end up in an argument with another YouTuber named Essence of Thought. Unfortunately, I have Jamie back in my mentions, calling me an ableist grifter this time. As before, we have a heated argument, and as before, I'm banned within an hour. My suspicions that this Jamie person was the one who reported me were already there, but what basically confirmed it for me was when I searched up my name on Twitter after the ban and found Jamie celebrating me getting banned and telling her followers to keep an eye out for any alt accounts I may make in the future, just in case. I'll let you interpret that one for yourselves. I basically moved past all this shit for like the last month that this has happened, but when a friend sent me a screenshot of who was responsible for this Peter Coffin drama, I almost lost my shit. They're the same fucking person. Of course. Now that I've told my story, let's get into the actual Peter Coffin drama. Basically, this all started when Jamie's partner, Lex3, tweeted making fun of Peter Coffin for having a fake girlfriend like 10 years ago. Jamie then responds by saying she actually believes he wasn't catfished or faking having a girlfriend, and in fact, the girl from all that drama back then was actually his current partner, who was underage at the time. Her conclusion is that Peter was grooming an underage girl and was covering it up with this fake girlfriend drama. For the record, this isn't true. There were a lot of rumors about what happened back then, but if you want to hear the full story, check out Peter's whole video about it in the description. Jamie doesn't leave these tweets open to interpretation in any way. She flat out states, as though it were fact, that Peter is a groomer and a pedophile. This obviously stirred up a lot of shit. Her followers ran with it, and so did a lot of other Twitter woke scolds. These types really hate BreadTubers, so they also began starting shit with the ones who were defending Peter, such as my friend Cyberwitch Lexi. She actually tried to extend an olive branch at one point, telling Jamie how she was sexually abused when she was younger, and Jamie ignored her, calling her an abuser and a harasser, so that's some projecting right there, huh? Ashley, Peter's partner, even spoke out about this, claiming it wasn't true. You would think that someone who's concerned about a woman she believes was being groomed and abused would care about what that potential victim has to say, but no. As Ashley implies here, she disregarded her defense. Earlier I told you how in my experience, these woke scold types would start by making a big accusation without backing it up, then backpedaling, then getting defensive, then playing victim before maybe blocking you, right? Well, this Peter Coffin drama was no exception. It looks like Jamie bit off a bit more than she could chew this time, because it didn't take long for her to be swamped by the combined fan bases of Peter and Lexi. Here's a spicy screenshot I managed to dig up of Jamie getting defensive and doubling down in arguments with their fans before blocking them. That's what we call the old tweet and retreat. The next part of the formula is backpedaling, and here she's doing exactly that. She claims that she was just having an open conversation where she was expressing a suspicion, and even openly admits she doesn't have any hard evidence to prove this to be true. Let me show you the original tweet thread again. You can decide whether or not this comes off as her admitting she has no hard evidence or not. If that isn't enough to prove this backpedaling is a lie, here's a screenshot of her doubling down and saying she believes she substantiated her claim as much as she deemed necessary. So, she's lying. All this drama finally climaxed with my friend Lexi going off in a Twitter thread where she explains her side of things and absolutely tears Jamie a new one. Go off, queen. We also have this screenshot of Peter going off on Jamie in Discord DMs, and rightfully so. She used her platform to lie and accuse him of being a pedophile, and tried to ruin his public image and possibly even his career. I think Lexi said it best when she tweeted that Jamie can rot in hell. Now I admit, I have a bit of an emotional attachment to this drama, since I have a bad history with Jamie and her partner, but I felt that because of my past interactions, maybe I could pave the way and fill in some context about this person that someone from the outside wouldn't, especially since karma has finally taken its toll, and she's been banned from Twitter. Whether she was responsible for getting me banned originally, or was just celebrating it, I'd just like to say, since I know she's watching this right now, how does it feel? I can't wait to see you molding in my Discord DMs tomorrow morning. Cheers. Usually I'd wrap up a video like this by saying these people, the woke scolds, aren't really a huge threat, and at the end of the day, we shouldn't focus on them too much. Well, to be honest with you, I can't bring myself to say that today. After seeing one Twitter woke scold manage to cause this much of a shitstorm, The argument that these people are a minority doesn't really hold up much water anymore. We've let these people harass ContraPoints for a year now. They even made her temporarily delete her Twitter account and caused her to fall into a month-long depressive state. They spread misinformation about popular leftist figures like my friend Vosh, calling him a rapist or a transphobe. Not only that, but any BreadTuber who dares to defend or even refuse to denounce those creators they see as problematic, they label as an enabler and toxic. These people are causing actual harm to the BreadTube community and to the spread of leftism and leftist advocacy. Their beliefs may not be as heinous as those of Nazis or fascists, but a gaggle of Nazis on Kiwi farms haven't been able to make the largest leftist figure on the internet delete her Twitter for a week. The woke scolds, on the other hand, have. This is not some Dave Rubin-esque rant about the regressive left or anything, but a reminder that just because someone is a leftist doesn't make them a good person by default. They can still be an abusive, lying piece of shit, even if they have a pit crew avatar and a hammer and sickle in their name. I think this is only the beginning. Jamie was only one of thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of these people who may be leftists, but spend all their time attacking and slandering BreadTubers, trying to ruin their careers. They successfully deplatformed me from the largest social media site in the world several times, and they won't stop there. They'll get their friends to mass report anyone they don't like. Next it could be H-Bomber Guy, or PhilosophyTube. If they can gather enough people that can mass report them, it may work. I think BreadTube and leftist advocacy in general has a long way to go in the future. We're kind of fighting a war on two fronts in this respect, and it doesn't help that this kind of shit doesn't happen on the right. Even the smaller reactionary figures are supported by others who may not 100% agree with their beliefs. And not only that, but they're overwhelmingly supported financially. I mean, I hopped into the kill stream on DLive the other day just to see what was going on, and every other chat message was a super chat donation, or whatever they call it on that site. The left does not have that kind of money behind it, and now we have people trying to destroy its advocates from the inside. And I have to admit, sometimes I feel like we're fighting an unwinnable culture war. Just recently, I read this article by USA Today that said the number of Americans 18 to 34 who are comfortable interacting with LGBTQ people slipped from 53% in 2017 to 45% in 2018, the only age group to show a decline, according to the annual Accelerating Acceptance Report, and that is down from 63% in 2016. That is really scary, and it tells me that a progressive movement needs to succeed and influence positive change before this gets worse. This reactionary wave of politics that took off in 2014 and peaked in 2016 has caused actual demonstrable harm, and we need leftist advocacy now more than ever. Anyone who tries to stand in the way of progress, no matter what their reasoning is or who they are, is an enemy to the left. To trans people, to gay people, to women, people of color, really just any group that fascists would see killed or deported. I hope this video resonates with a lot of you, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, please subscribe, drop a like on the video, and tell me what you think in the comments. Pig Puncher, out.